Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I hope the lighting's fine. It is actually really dark outside. Luckily this camera is pretty good in dark light, but it's late late afternoon now and it is getting a bit dull outside. It's a really dull day, so that's not helping the situation. So if the lighting is a little bit off, I do apologise for that. If you are a fellow YouTuber and you know of a inexpensive light that doesn't take up any space, then let me know in the comments, because I do have a big softbox, but it would take me ages to put up and I've nowhere to store it up. I'd have to put it down every single time, and that just isn't practical at the moment with little babies and little children. So if you do know of a little light that can help me in these darker months, because it's going to get really difficult to make videos, it's almost impossible without children anyway. I've got the baby down to sleep, Tommy's in nursery. Need to try and get this video filmed as quickly as possible so that I can get it done and we don't get disturbed by a little one. Anyway, as you can tell from the title of this video, it is my 6 to 9 month, I think 6 to 9 month essentials for a baby. He is now 10.5 months, so it's about time that I filmed this for you. I've just got a few items, probably a bit boring because we don't buy a whole lot of new things, and I do try and keep things quite simple. So these probably are the essentials and not just all the extra things that people say that you need, but actually you can get away with not having. So if you're interested in hearing what our essentials have been for the last few months, then keep watching. So I've got my list on my phone because I would forget, like even a week ago I'd forget what we were using. So obviously it's more than a month ago. So the first couple of things are all kind of food related, and the first one I've put down is a Sippy Cup. This is one that the health visitor gave us, and it's just a Tommy Tippy one, bog standard Sippy Cup with a spout, and this is a free flow one, so if he shakes it the water will come sprouting out. We actually have a new cup now, but we were using this for the first few months after he turned 6 months, and actually it was probably a good thing because we tried different cups with Tommy when he was first 6 months and he could never get the gist of it. He struggled with it. Whereas with this, I would hold it to his mouth and he's got no option other than to take the water because it's free flow. So it is really good, and we would use it still, but the other one should be non-spill. I don't believe there's any such thing as a non-spill. They always manage to spill something, don't they? But this has been really good, and really good at teaching him how to drink out of a cup rather than a bottle. So it was a good starting point to start with this so that we could progress onto another type of cup if we wanted to, which we have done. And the next thing is feeding related, like food related. We've got a pack of these plates. They're from Munchkin. It's hard to see, it says Munchkin there, and there's a blue, no sorry not a blue, a red, a green and a yellow one, so it's a multi-pack. And I got this set of 3, so I thought that Tommy could use one and then we'd have a couple for Fraser, because Tommy's already got a plate similar to this, but Tommy refuses to use these. He says that Fraser's plates, so Fraser's got 3, Tommy's got 1 plate. Anyway, I really like these plates. It helps with portion control. I can put like a bit of fruit, some vegetables and sandwich or whatever it is that he's eating that day, and split it up. He has been doing baby led weaning since he was 6 months, so I put this on the food on his plate and put the plate on his tray. Now there's nothing to stop it from being pulled up. It's not one of those suction ones. I've never tried those, so I can't tell you whether they are any good or not. I can just imagine both of my boys pulling it off because they've both been very, very strong, and something like that would frustrate them, so they would pull it till it came off, and I can just imagine everything going flying. So I've always opted for something like this because they're not gonna like really pull hard at it because they can move it easily, if that makes any sense. Anyway, he will start playing with this. He does really well for a few minutes, and as soon as the plate starts moving, I just tip everything onto his tray, but we do start on the plate, and I think it's a good way to kind of introduce him to having a plate until the time when he can use it properly. And it's also a good way of transporting the food to his tray, to the table, but it doesn't stay on the plate forever, which you can expect for a baby. I do mostly do baby led weaning, but there's occasions when we do feed him ourselves or spoon feed him, mostly yogurts, but quite often in the morning I give him porridge or Weetabix. There are other things that I have given him and could give him where he could feed himself, but that would take preparation on my part, and sometimes I just haven't got the time or the energy to do that, and I'm making breakfast for myself and Tommy, my 2-year-old, so I just make it for Fraser as well, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. So we obviously have spoons. This one was one that we had with Tommy, and I'm trying to see if there's a make on it. I can't. Oh, there is. This is a Tommy Tippy one as well. These are really good because if it's hot, the food, I think this goes yellow, and then if it's the right temperature it will be more orangey, so it kind of helps you knowing if the food is too hot or not. These are not special at all. I don't think there's any sort of make on them. I think I might have picked them up in Morrison's, a pack of 5 or something, all multicoloured, and they're fine. They're just bog standard spoons, but they are really good. You can't have too many spoons, although I think we might have too many. Probably have got too many, but yeah, we've been using spoons obviously, and then now I do pass him the spoon so he can kind of practice with it, because at some point I do want him to be able to feed himself with a spoon as well, not just his fingers. Still food related, because he is feeding himself, and even if he wasn't I would need Bibs, but because he's feeding himself he gets in a lot of mess. So we have some long sleeve bibs. You'll have to excuse this bib. I have 2. This is the better of the 2. It's still damp from lunch, but it's very, very stained, so you will have to excuse it, but it is clean. I've given it a rinse at lunchtime. It will probably go in the wash later today, but I just gave it a rinse at lunchtime so you could use it at dinner time today. It's not really showing up on camera that it's so stained. Maybe on that side, it's kind of orangey yellow. Anyway, this is from IKEA, so it's long sleeve. This one actually has a little food catcher. It doesn't really work all the time, sometimes does, but I didn't really get it for that. I got it for the fact that it was long sleeve, and this particular one is also wipe clean. The other one I have is more material, and so it's a bit of a nightmare. If it gets dirty I tend to have to just put it straight in the wash. There's also a Velcro on the back, but that doesn't always stay closed, so I often use food clips. I just kind of overlap it and put a food clip over there, you know, the clips that you use on your food packets, or even a peg to keep it closed, because if it comes down he will pull it down and then there's no point in it even being there, it just gets in the way. But long sleeve have been essential because he gets his hands right in there and it would all end up his sleeve. I'll put my phone on silent. There you go. It would get up his sleeves, and I need it like fully covering him because he does get in a lot of mess, but these have been definite necessity while he has been weaning. And of course, along with that, we needed a high chair. We are using the IKEA high chair. It's one that we had for Tommy. We haven't used the insert this time. We did with Tommy because he didn't really properly sit up till 7 months. Even though he was very mobile, he didn't sit up confidently. So we needed the insert just to help support him in the seat so he wasn't like leaning to one side. With Fraser, he was sitting at 5 months, so he was totally fine to go in the high chair without support, and I just decided just to not bother with the support because he didn't need it and it was just another thing to clean, so we didn't bother this time, and that's been totally fine. He's not a small child, neither of my boys are small, so it wasn't that like he was a tiny little child that needed to like support around him. He was totally fine because he is a big boy. But yeah, we love the IKEA high chair. There are lots on the market. You can get really fancy ones that do all sorts. IKEA one is completely bog standard. It does nothing more than what you see. It is a high chair and that's it. There's strap to keep them in, which is essential. Fraser, he likes to climb, and he would climb out of his high chair if he wasn't strapped in. The legs do come off if you need to transport it. They just pop off, and that's really easy to do. I've done it a few times. I've taken it to my mum's house and I just pop it in the boot. It's quite easy to do. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but you can't fold it down, so if you need it to be folded down that probably wouldn't be any good to you, but we don't have a lot of space. In fact, if I just turn my camera that way, you can see it just there. That's the high chair there. We don't have a lot of space. This is our living room, and our dining area is at the back of the living room, and I need it all to fit there without kind of moving around and putting it in other places, and it fits fine. So it doesn't take up a lot of space, but it doesn't fold down. I just want to mention something that I should have mentioned at the beginning, but I totally forgot to do it, and that is that I will try and put some clips in or photos for the items that I don't have in front of me here, because obviously some of them are too big, some of them have been packed away because it's now not summer, and I don't have them all in front of me. I did have video clips for some of those things, but I may have lost them. I've mentioned it in a video, but that video hasn't gone live yet, and I have mentioned it over on Instagram and Facebook, but unfortunately I lost, or potentially have lost, a lot of video and photos from the last year and a half, nearly 2 years. And obviously all those clips are there. The hard drive is still in the cupboard. I need to send it off to someone, but if they are going to take anything off the hard drive, it's going to cost money, and we don't have any money at the moment, and I just need to trust someone. Like, it's such a silly thing. The hard drive is sitting there, I can't get the photos off, but the thought of sending it off to someone that I don't know scares me even more. Like, I can't get the photos now, but if I send them off and it's the wrong person, then I definitely can't get the photos off if they damage it or something. So it's sat in the cupboard waiting for me to deal with, but unfortunately it does mean that I've lost all my video clips that I have done for the last year and a half, and some that I was planning videos for. So although the photos are memories, like someone said to me that they are just memories, and they are, but they are, for me, it's also planned projects, and they are more than just memories for me. But yeah, I am absolutely gutted. I'm devastated that it's happened. The hard drive has broken, unfortunately, and it's all there, and I didn't have it all backed up, and I know I should have done, but I was in the process of organising it and I just hadn't got around to that part. Anyway, I'm not going to keep harping on about it, but that is why I don't have video clips for all the items, and some of the video clips I can't get now because, like, one of the items I'm going to talk about in a second, it's a jumperoo, and Fraser's too big for it and it's in the loft, so I'm not going to get it out, put a child in that's too big for a piece of equipment just to get a video clip, if you get what I'm saying. But I might have the clip, I just have to see what clips I have still, but there's a chance that I probably don't, unfortunately, which is a bit sad. So my next item is the Snoozeshade, and it's a mesh shade that goes over your pushchair. I have the umbrella, the kind of traditional type of shade to shade the baby from the sun, and I absolutely hate it. It blows in the wind, and where we live it can get quite windy. It's quite hilly in Yorkshire, so it does get a bit windy, and those umbrella shades do not work when it's windy. So I needed something else, and Fraser is so fair. Tommy's fair, and I do worry about him burning, even though I do put sun lotion on, but Fraser is even fairer than Tommy, and I just panic about him burning. So I bought this Snoozeshade to go over the pushchair, and it's brilliant. It blocks out the light, it protects them from the sun. You can put it all the way over the pushchair, you can do it as a shade between the seat and the handlebars. I have talked about it in my, I think, summer favourites. I talked about it, but I will put some photos so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's been really good, particularly over this summer where we've had such hot weather. He needed something. He's very fair, bordering on ginger, and very white fair skin, so I needed something to ease my mind, even when he had sun lotion on, that I knew that his skin was being protected. Along the pushchair line again is my pushchair organiser, or handlebar organiser. What have I put down? Pram organiser, that's what I've put down. It just sits on the handlebar. I had it this with Tommy. I got it from Amazon. You can get the specific ones for my pushchair, but I just went on Amazon and found a cheap version. I will try and link that below if I can find it for you, but it's brilliant. I go for walks with the boys quite often, and I don't want to take a big changing bag with me. If I'm just popping to the local shop, or to the local park, I don't want to take a big changing bag with me. So in there I'll put a drink for me, a drink for Tommy and the boys, some snacks, and a spare nappy and wipes. So I've got my essentials with me, and I should get away with not taking anything else with me. So that's really good for just quick trips out, and also easy access as well. So even if you have your changing bag with you, if you want easy access to a few bits, it is really good as well. As I already mentioned, the jumperoo, Fraser did enjoy it. He didn't like to stay in it too long, but he did enjoy using it. He loves bouncing, so you think he would love being in that a lot, but he didn't for too long. I could usually put Tommy in a lot longer. Not that I would leave any of them in it for that long, because it's not safe to, but when they are on the move, before they can walk, but even when they can walk, it's a bit hard work. But like when they're crawling and getting into things and they don't understand that they can't get into things or shouldn't get into things, having things like the jumperoo is really helpful. It just means that they are in one place while you get on with the job, and you could be in the same room as them, but you've turned your back and they can get into everything. But it is like a good way of keeping them entertained, and you know exactly where they are. It didn't last in it very long. He got quite big in it, and I had to unfortunately retire it because he was so big, but the jumperoo was really good for a period of time anyway. Something similar to the jumperoo was a walker that we were lent by my sister, and we didn't use it very much. Unfortunately, we didn't get it out of the loft quick enough. We should have got it out a lot earlier, and I wish I had, because when I did eventually get it out, he loved it and it was brilliant outside on our deck. He would like zoom around. I'd had to really watch him to make sure he didn't go anywhere he shouldn't go, but again, it meant I could get a few jobs done. Having a baby outside with you when they're just crawling, it's difficult. You don't want them crawling on the ground, and they can crawl into places that they shouldn't be. And I've been trying to get my laundry on the line throughout the summer, so, and into the autumn, so it was really useful to have him out there with me, but not on the floor. And I didn't always want to put him in his high chair because he gets bored of that, but he loved the walk, and I just wish we got it out when he was 6 months and got the full use out of it. It's a bit cold now, and I probably wouldn't take him out in it now because I've not really got anything for his feet. Nothing like warm enough to stop him from getting like his feet wet, and so he doesn't wear shoes yet, so it's a bit difficult to know what to put on his feet if we were outside. But yeah, it was really good in the kind of the time when he was using it. I can't really use it in the house. We haven't got any open spaces. I could use it in the living room, but it's carpeted until like back there, and there's not a lot of space on the hard floor for him to use, unfortunately. But it is really good if you have a bit of open space and you have hard floors throughout the bottom of your house. The next item I was going to bring for this video, and I haven't, it's upstairs, but I don't want to go up and disturb Fraser, so I will put a picture on, and it's the Avena cream. It's a lovely moisturiser, and it's safe for children. Fraser has got a lot of dry skin around his mouth and kind of nose area, and it's just from dribbling. Sometimes it gets very, very red, and it looks a bit nasty, but it's nothing more than a bit of dry skin from dribbling. He dribbles all the time, regardless of if he's teething or not. Tommy was the same. They just both like to dribble. And there's a lot of wetness around, like under his chin, around his chin, and it's constant. It does clear up a little bit, but it is there all the time, and it will eventually clear up. But I just like to put a bit of cream on, usually in the evening. I should try and do it in the morning as well, but I don't always manage to. But I do try to do it in the evening just to help moisturise it and protect it a little bit as well. But that has helped to kind of not fully clear it up, but to help clear it up. Or at least not get too bad. And I've got a couple of toys. We haven't really bought anything specific for Fraser that Tommy didn't have. He just likes playing with Tommy's toys, to be honest with you. He doesn't know how to play with them properly. He just likes holding them and sucking on them. So obviously we don't let him have any of the small toys. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. I've got a monitor beside me and I can see Fraser moving. I'm just hoping he's not waking up. It's taken me nearly an hour to get him to go down for a nap, and he'll probably only have about 20 minutes. Anyway, so I've got a couple of toys. These have both been lent to me from my sister. She's got a little boy who is a little bit younger than Tommy, so obviously perfect for passing things on to Fraser. So I thought I'd share these with you because these are more age specific, not Tommy's toys. So this is one of them, and let me just double check again. I'm sure I've seen the name of it. Just managed to set it off and there's no off switch. It's from Kiddieland, so I'm not going to do any of it because it just keeps going. So on the top here there's a space for 3 balls. I've just got one of them with me here, and they just sit in there, and then they can pop them in the top of the tree, and then they spiral down till they come out of this part here. Fraser loves it, and he's getting really good. Well, he can do this now, pop things in there, and he pops the wrong things in there, things get stuck. But he's really good at picking the balls up now and popping them in there. He loves doing that. And then, oh. Okay, this toy is going to annoy you, but your kids will love it. Just hit the key again. Anyway, I'll try and show you without touching the wrong thing. In the front here, you've got space for different shapes, so I'm not going to put it in because it will make a lot of noise. The square goes in there and it will say square, and then you've got a triangle, flower and circle, and it will tell them what shape it is and do a little tune. But he loves this, he loves playing with it. Tommy loves it as well, although he's less possessive of it now. When we first were given it from my sister, Tommy kind of took it and would walk around the room with it so that Fraser couldn't play with it. But it's kind of become a little bit, we've had it for a while now, so he's not as bothered about it. But yeah, he wouldn't let Fraser play with it for a while. And then the other toy is this big bag of blocks. You can see. I'm trying to see if there's a make on this. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to say this name. So it says Lily Putiens, something like that. I'll see if I can find it online. He doesn't build with it. They're just a load of blocks. So you've got like a bridge shape, an oblong, triangle. He doesn't really build with it. If you build up, he will knock it down. He likes sucking on them. And even though he does suck on them, there's no bite marks in them, so they do survive, which is really good. And you can put, like, you've got these ones here, you can put the circle inside there like that. But that's the only toys I thought I'd share with you today. I don't really have any others, sorry. We don't really buy a whole lot, and he's happy with the few toys that Tommy has. And he's starting to wake up. Please stay asleep, Fraser. Anyway, that's everything I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to go now, just so I've got 5 minutes to myself before Fraser wakes up. But thank you for watching, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.